Hey, Matthew. So this is the middle of the chapter review because you're going to take a test tomorrow. This assignment is designed to just help you study. I'm not putting it in the grade book. What's going to go in the grade book is your test score. This is not going to look exactly like the text because the idea is practicing the concepts and understanding the concepts so that way you can get a good score. With that said, we are talking about transformations. We're talking about rotation, translation, and reflection for this one here. It says select all triangles that can be rotated to match up with triangle 1. So that tells me I'm going to start with triangle 1, and with my patty paper I would trace it. And I am going to look, and I'll try to push this down so you can see. And what I'm going to do is try to match up. I am going to rotate to see if I match up. Well, I don't match with A because there's still room. I would actually have to flip to match with A. So A is not it. I'm going to go ahead and rotate to B. B is right, so I'll go ahead and shade it. B is one triangle that could be rotated. For here, I'm going to go and keep rotating. I am not going to match up by turning. This, I would actually have to slide to turn. So C is not it. For D, I'm going to see if I turn while I land on D. And yes, I rotated and I landed on D. So B and D are correct. For this one, it asks you what are parallel lines. And if you remember, parallel lines are two lines that do not intersect. They are side by side and they're going in the same direction. So I'm going to look for those lines here. I can see G and F are parallel lines. The spacing and they're both going the same direction. So line G and F are parallel. Identify all perpendicular lines. Remember, perpendicular lines are lines that cross and make 90-degree angles. And you can see various variations of this. These are 3 possible variations that you may see. For this, I'm going to look. I can see that H and G. So H and G make perpendicular lines. So does F and H. And for here, when I do H and J, I still make the 90-degree angle. You just have to look at it here. Okay, so it's H and J. And let's look at I, if they make perpendicular lines, see, with the crossing. As we see, H is the intersecting line. That's why we're seeing that it crosses all the lines. This should be I, sorry, and showing perpendiculars. All right, we're going to move on to the next one. The next one here, I asked you to go ahead and cross this out. You don't need to answer that. It's asking you to describe the sequence of transformation which happened for triangle A to B. So triangle B is the image. Sorry, triangle B is the image to triangle A. So there's my triangle A, and I got to figure out, did I rotate? Did I translate? Did I flip? Did I turn? Did I slide? Did I flip? So here I can see, well, they're not on the same, so I need to look. I'm going to pick this point here. This point, I know I have to translate, which means slide. So I'm going to slide up, and I'm going to go up 1, 2. So I'm going to go up 2. And what I'm going to do is I see that I need to flip over the line Y. So in this one, it translated. And we said it was 1, 2, 2 units up. And once we did that, once we were up that many units, we can see the spacing's the same. So I needed to reflect over the y-axis, and it should flip right on top. So here it also reflected over the y-axis. Okay? So that's another way to explain it, is making sure you can show what transformations occurred. For this one, it is asking you the measurement of AED and the measurement of DEB. So if I look at it, I'm going to go ahead and look at this one right here. I can see that these are vertical angles, so I know these would be the same measurements. This is DEB. 50, I will put 50 here. For this one, I can't use the vertical angle because I don't know what this is. But what I do know is that this line right here, that I'm going to highlight in blue, is equal to 180 degrees. Since the line is 180 degrees and we know one of the angles is 50, I could do 180 minus 50 and know that this angle is equal 130. 130 plus 50 equals a straight line of 180. Now that I have this one, I know this is a vertical angle, meaning right across. Angles that are across are the same measurement. So I can go ahead and put that. Last thing here, what I'm going to do is show you for this one is asking you to do a translation and then, transformation by rotating A, B, and C around point D. So I'm going to trace with patty paper. If you need a pause, go ahead and pause. You also are going to mark your point D. I am going to rotate until they match up. When they match up, I can see where all the measurements go. B and B prime are also 52 degrees. C and C prime are 50 degrees. And B and BC is a measurement of 4. Now that I did it on my patty paper, I can just transfer the work. Another thing to look at it as, the paper already gave you what A and A prime are. You know these are congruent. B and B prime will be congruent at 52 degrees. And C prime will be congruent at 50 degrees. So just knowing that transformation, the shape is still congruent, same size, same shape, but the location of the angles and measurements change. Last but not least is what happened from A, B, C to get to D, E, F. You are trying to find what transformation occurred. So for here, you're going to have all the measurements. And you will look, well, did I slide? No. Well, do I rotate? No. Do I flip? Yes. And then do I slide? Yes. So, you know that you are going to translate because you need to slide from one shape to another. You also know that when you do that, you also you're not rotating, but you are reflecting. So you want to make sure that when you have it and you come here, well, what are you doing? You're reflecting, which means you're flipping. What I want you to do, I'm going to write reflect. I want you to figure out how many units did it translate, and then I want you to draw the line of reflection. So that way you can get a better understanding. Make sure you go ahead and look at each one of these, and good luck.